Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah. Big Mama's house. Welcome to Big Mama's house. Big Mama's house. Yeah.
Welcome back to Big Mama's house, y'all. It is I, Mama, here again with the amazing Mallow and Lizard.
Hi.
To discuss Welcome to Plathville Season 1, Episode 2. I have so many thoughts, and I know I've been farther ahead than you guys, so I've tried very hard to limit my thoughts to when I first saw it. I'm at this point, still very pro Olivia. I was on the Olivia bandwagon pretty much since the start. I had very negative thoughts about the parents, Kim and Barry, at the very start. What about you guys?
I feel like the very beginning, again, the first video beginning when we saw the children all singing, we're like, okay, cult vibes again.
Yeah.
It's the again, like we watch a lot of horror movie stuff. The whole like children doing stuff and just singing all together got a little like sort of horror movie
They actually
vibes.
did that professionally. They traveled and released religious music on, for.
But still, I gave off at the beginning of a horror movie vibes.
Yeah, well, you guys are always immediately skip to that reaction like 99% of the time.
We like those movies. I'm pretty sure if we liked more religious movies, we just think like that.
I had a thought from the last episode that we didn't get to talk about. But when did the mom start wearing pants? Because in all like the flashback photos, they're all wearing like Little House on the Prairie dresses, not like the Mormon LDS, the polygamy cults where they like all dressed like the same, and not like that kind of thing. Just very conservative with the longer sleeves and all the way to the ankle. The boys wore long sleeves, button up shirts to the neck, long pants. It was very, very conservative.
Well, I guess like again, like as you said, as we noticed, like they aren't always more like, no all the time. They again like
They have advanced in their.
they listen to their kids and stuff. And if I know, as I pointed out to you on the left, again, like the little girls wear pants or like some kind of leggings or some kind of pants stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's more like they give them the choice. Because I've noticed that Mariah wears pants.
Well, remember in the episode she had said that it was when she bought her first pair of jeans, it was a very big deal, and her parents said, like, "Are you sure this is what you want to do? We don't approve of this." But they did not refuse to allow her to wear them. They just had a discussion with her about, like, "Hey, these are our values. Are you sure this is what you want?" But they let her make that
I
choice.
did notice she immediately went to booty shorts when she went to California, though, and I'm like,
Right?
the booty shorts,
And
no,
who
they're
does she
not.
look just like?
Olivia.
Right? Okay.
And Olivia did mention that she grew up in a really strict household.
Very
And I
conservative.
feel like the thing is though that the way she describes it does not describe Kim and Barry's family. The way she said like the men always talk and everything, that's not really how it goes in like their family dynamic.
No, everyone and all the kids are allowed to just be themselves.
They're allowed to talk through things and everything, and
they don't send the little ones away when they discuss difficult things with the older ones. They allow them to benefit of the experience with their older siblings to see like how things are managed.
Yeah, and in the episode, sorry, Mallow's very tired today.
Yes.
Mallow's very tired every day, but I appreciate that she's here to support us.
Like one of the little girls was like, "I want to go to Antarctica, can I?" And they're like,
"Wear a sweater."
Right? Like it's gonna be cold.
Yeah, I think that some of at this point,
And again,
based on what we're seeing and how the children are behaving, because okay, the older kids can have a version, but you look at the little kids, and that will tell you the barometer of where the family is as far as making happy kids. All of these little children, for even Isaac, who's a teenager, they all seem very happy, and they're not like they're fine.
I noticed that Mariah, when she was, the thing is that whenever they're at California eating food and stuff, she's like drinking a Coke, and she's like, a year ago my friend offered me a soda, and I said no because I don't want and everything. But then she said I started drinking soda the past couple months, and I'm like, that probably was Olivia.
Who is also just having the very best time knowing more than everybody and introducing them to all the things that their
It kind-
parents warn them about,
It,
like alcohol.
I honestly though, it does. You know, well, kind of like how Barry wanted to keep his kids out of public school because of what he dealt with during public school, and how Kim wanted their kids to have a stable life without alcohol and stuff because of how she was brought up. I feel like Olivia's also projecting on their family.
Thank you.
I-
Because she straight up says at one point, where
that
was it?
that her family learned to change, so they can
Yeah.
too.
Olivia always compares Mariah to herself. And she takes pride in the fact that she changed her family to her more liberal ways. And now she's insisting that her in-laws change too.
And these are like, they're again like, I'm all for learning and changing all these things, but
Yeah.
like, they aren't. They're kind of like more conservative, but they aren't strict with their kids. Again, even as said, they allowed their daughter to go to California because she proved to them that she can meet their little goals.
And by the way, I think everybody's like, oh, Kim's so controlling and so manipulative and so mean. Dude, if that was my kid, not only would I have made her make sure she had all of her work done before she went, but I would make sure, oh, and by the way, you have to do all your chores and prove to me you can be responsible before you can go. Is that true or not? Is that something I would do?
Yeah.
And you would hate me for it. But guess what? If you wanted to go, you show me you can be responsible and do what you have to do. And they never, that's the one criticism I have of them with Mariah, is yes, maybe they were more judgmental and more vocal when they were younger because they really wanted to like warn their kids away from certain like negative lifestyle things, but they let them make their own choices. You know what I mean? It's like they're not forcing them, oh, if you're going to wear jeans, you got to get out of my house, whore, or whatever. Or
They're like, but then they change. Like,
they allow, once they hit about 15, 16 years old, they start treating them more like adults, letting them work. If they get their diploma or whatever early, they can go to work and do their work, save their money.
I'm thinking that because the little girls are wearing pants and stuff, that when Mariah started wearing pants and stuff, and also like they started getting married and stuff, the little girls were like, oh, I want to try that.
And that's exactly what they're talking about in episode 1 when it says now that the older ones are growing up and branching out, the little ones want to fast forward to their level, and that is dangerous.
And also, but you also mentioned that how Kim is wearing pants. And I think she probably did that to show the little girls that like it's not a totally taboo thing.
I kind of think that maybe, I don't know. I would like to know whose requirement was that? Was it just because it was a religious thing in the Bible that you cover yourself, or what did one or the other of them push for it?
Maybe
That would be something I would like to know.
maybe it's how like again like Kim and Barry grew up in a church. Maybe it's how they were.
I don't think they grew up in a church. I think,
But they said they met in a church.
yeah, they met at church. Yes.
But again, like they probably were into religion, and that's how they just were. And then like they were like, well, if you got changing, but again, they don't seem totally opposed to changing. That they don't mind adapting as things come, and again like trusting their children. I would have not trusted Mariah outside the state alone.
Here's some of the thoughts I had. Why didn't Olivia and Mariah see how much faith and trust the parents, Kim and Barry, have in both of them in order to allow her to? I mean, that is a huge amount of trust.
I did notice that Olivia didn't even talk to Kim when she was there. She was going to bring Kim's daughter. I guess that's her sister-in-law, but that's still a minor child.
Yep.
And
Out of state.
She didn't even talk to her. And Kim was just like, it's just how she is.
And I'm just like, why is that Kim's fault? Kim is the one making all the concessions here, right?
It does seem kind of like she feels very, high and
I
mighty.
did find it a little weird that she made Mariah go ask the parent for permission whenever they should have both went and talked to Kim.
The adult should have come with. Absolutely. And yes, right? And here's my thing. Kim was worried that Olivia's negative opinion of her would spread to Mariah. And I think that is a completely valid issue when you have a vulnerable kid who's like, the one thing they dreamed of is California, and like, and I think Kim was also really, really sad that it was Olivia who got to be with her and make her dream come true.
I feel
Because you could see
also
in her face that she was really sad about it.
also Olivia is very much projecting. Again, like a lot of projection, and again, like Kim even said, like, and looking back before about how like the no alcohol at the wedding, that it's actually, not an uncommon thing.
I had that requirement when I got married the first time
Because again, like,
my mother's an alcoholic and would have had it made a scene.
and if her saying that if her side of the family wouldn't come, maybe that was an actual reason they weren't comfortable with alcohol people getting drunk.
And because most of Kim's guest list would have been the conservative homeschool friends and families that they had met over the years that they actually knew.
And a lot of people who go the no alcohol route for their lives is because they have bad experiences with like family members or other things with alcohol.
And the fact
maybe
that
they were
Olivia
alcoholics.
cannot have any compassion for her and understanding, and only
Well,
is pissed that she didn't get her way.
the thing is, I'm gonna play the other side. It wasn't Kim's wedding.
Right?
It wasn't her. It was, Olivia's and
Yes.
Ethan's wedding. If they wanted alcohol, it should have been their own
But
discussion.
and then the
But it's also
people who don't want to be around it also have the right not to come.
Exactly.
And so they gave them a choice. You can have the alcohol at your wedding, and that's fine. You do you, but none of us will be
It's
there,
al-
and that's the choice you make.
it's
And that's a hard place to be in, but they still gave them a choice.
I'm gonna relate it to like a child-free wedding. You can have your child-free wedding, but you have to accept that the family members that have children
Might not be able to come.
might not will not come. It's just like you gotta like.
Is it about what you want? Is it more
Is it
important to
worth
be
it?
all about you? Or do you want your family around?
I didn't even know. She even said like right after the wedding, she could drink alcohol all she wants in her home or out. Even Ethan was out drinking with his friends from work in the episode.
Mm-hmm.
I do think that was a little weird about how Kim was basically giving him the sex talk like 5 minutes before his wedding. I'm like,
I think she was, because
TMI.
I don't get a lot of that. Barry is really in tuned, like on the day to day with his kids. Like he's like, I didn't know Mariah wanted to go to California, when evidently it's been her dream for years. So I don't think he has a lot of those kind of
But he also
one-on-one things with
they
his
also
kids.
live in Georgia, but apparently his work is in Tallahassee, Florida, which again is a drive.
Yeah, it's like almost an hour every day each way. So I'm not saying that he's a bad parent or not involved. I just don't think he knows all of them that on that personal of a level. And so I think the mom was like,
He's
you know
a
what?
1950s husband. He works and then doesn't.
Pretty,
But
yeah,
he interacts with his
and
kids and stuff, but
more
he's
on the
not.
physical level, like helping them build things or playing ball with them or whatever.
He doesn't seem
Not, yeah.
emotional. He's more like, I can help you with this stuff, but I'm out of my depth.
He
and start
seems
talking.
almost like on the spectrum to me, the way he talks and the way he talks about feelings.
His love language is helping you out, not talking about personal feelings.
And so I think Kim maybe was like, I don't think Barry actually told him how you please a woman, not just the mechanical issue of having sex. And so okay, as a mom, I've told you since you guys were little, if you have questions, I'd rather you ask me, and I will give you as a direct and honest answer as I possibly can, rather than you getting it from the idiots on the school bus, which is where you got most of your information anyway. Because I want to have that open. I want you guys to have the correct information. Because the information you get from the other, like, 12-year-olds on the school bus is not going to be accurate.
I do want to bring this up. Like, this is one of the reasons why I do believe that while kids should eventually have phones, especially nowadays where, keeping in touch and everything.
Yeah.
There's a reason why small children should not have phones with
Yes.
access to the internet and
Yes.
stuff. Because I was in high school, and one of the kids asked me what, I think it was like, what is this? I don't know what the term was, but something sexual. And I'm like, you should wait till you're older or ask your parents. And
Was it dildo?
no. It
It
was
was something like that. It was something sexual.
it was like an actual sexual thing. I think it was something to do with sex, but like a different term for it.
Like the official term that nobody uses.
Yeah, and they're like,
Fellatio.
the small child, they're like elementary school, first and fourth grade. Well, no one pulls out the phone like, I'll just look it up, and I'm like, no.
Right.
Like I'm
You
like,
did that a lot on the bus with the little ones.
I'm like, you do no. This is a
You were like the bus monitor.
this is a parent question. This is not a phone question.
Yes.
You can look this up on your phone when you're older than 15. What this is a parent question. You ask your parents these questions, and they're like, "Why?" Like, the internet doesn't always give you the answers, the actual correct answers you need.
Yes.
And they're like, "Really?" Like, yes.
Or one that you could understand at
Like-
that age.
Like, your parents can give you answers to questions that the internet will not be able to actually, like, give you the actual information you want.
Yes.
And so I successfully made them put away their phone. No, they didn't actually put it away. They went to like Subway Surfers, I think.
Yeah.
Got games.
But what kills me is he was like, just to start out, there's 2 holes. And I'm like, that is an awesome conversation. It should have happened like a week ago though, dude.
Maybe like when you turn 18.
Or, when they get engaged.
Right.
But I think the point is they were trying to not instill dirty thoughts in their mind so that they could
get too curious, like,
yeah, and because
With how the bedrooms are, like, do these kids never experiment with themselves? Like, there's bunk
well, you get it. You find out about Ethan's first masturbation in future episodes.
Oh my god.
I like how his like work buddies though were just finding it absolutely hilarious.
And that they weren't like
They were making fun of them. They're like,
no, they were like they think it's cute. They like and that they can help
Yeah,
him
like,
do new things too.
he's their coworker who doesn't always have an spirit. Like,
I have a
like called his wife when he tried a Pop-Tart.
yeah, it's cute. But I have a very, very serious question.
Oh,
Okay. Ethan
yes.
and Micah, who's you haven't really seen a lot of him yet, but he's the hot brother.
Oh, the taller one.
And then there's Isaac, who's
Yeah.
like the little 13-year-old, very, very, he's so cute. He's my favorite one of them. All of them have thick country boy accents.
Yeah.
Okay? No one else does. But yet they didn't have TV or radio or internet. Where the fuck did these 3 kids out of the whole family pick up this country accent?
So there is a story online where someone talked about this girl who had a thick British accent, and they finally asked her like, "Are you from Britain?" And she just sighs and goes, "No, my parents talked with this thick accent until I, got it, and then they finally revealed that they didn't have the accent." So what I'm assuming is that Barry and Kim talked in this thick accent. While
I have
they
a
were
theory.
Maybe-
No, I have a
Maybe
theory.
they grew up that way and it slowly came out. They stopped talking.
No, because Barry and Kim have no accents. Okay?
It's easy to-
My theory is because, again, from the time that all the kids were little, they played Southern gospel. And I think most of the Southern gospel back in the day was country. So they grew up singing like this. Because that is the recording that they heard. So they learned to sing that way, and then it just carried over to their voice. That's my theory. If anyone knows why these 3 lovely gentlemen in this one family with no other country accents, please reach out, because that's my only theory I can think of.
Mallow questioned about why Ethan didn't go with them, and I'm like, well, it's a work trip. It's supposed to be a work trip, quotation marks.
Right.
It seems more like a vacation.
It is. But that's why she's like, I added a few days on the beginning and the end for sightseeing, and I'm like, and you notice when they were doing the interviews and they were talking about it, they were like, we just happened to book a trip to California a few weeks after I became her assistant. It was all contrived. They had to book the trip to California. She was like, hey, if you're my assistant and making money, your parents can't complain. They want you guys to be working and saving your money. So, and that's what irritates me. They're saying that Kim and Barry are the deceptive ones, the bad ones. There's no deception. Okay, they're the ones making secret plans and lying, and
Again, I feel like she learned that from growing up with a strict family, and feels like that Kim and Barry are the same.
And you notice
all the adults in the show needs therapy.
Oh, 100%, 100%, girl.
I don't
And
know,
Olivia said she feels judged by Kim. Okay, feels judged. Okay, and
Yeah.
yes, maybe Kim made comments in the beginning because she was afraid of that influence and
Kim
whatever.
just has resting bitch face.
But the one thing she didn't question
So do
like
I.
like toothpaste and all this stuff, but I feel like they use more things that are more natural. So I think the reason why she'd be questioning all this stuff because again, was more worldly, so she had probably had like Crest toothpaste, and they were using more natural like
And
stuff like that.
Olivia never talked to Kim about any of her issues with her. That's the part where I'm like, okay, Kim's the manipulative one. Kim's the evil one. She's the bad one. But you're the one who never tried to work it out and say, hey, what you're doing is hurting me. If you don't stop, we're gonna have to separate and not have as much contact with you.
Again, like Olivia seems
That
like,
never happened.
I feel like Olivia now seems like the preppy mean girl of high school.
Right?
Like she seems like the type of person in high school that would have been like convincing you to like, oh, we're just going to a friend's house, and it's like a
Raging party.
it's a party at like a 20-acre, they're like 55-acre ranch and whatever.
It just bothers me that everyone
You know,
else
just
has to change to suit Olivia. But Olivia basically says, well, if you won't change and if you don't accept everything about me, then we're not gonna have contact.
I also think it's really weird that outside of Olivia, Ethan kept saying without Olivia that it's boring. I feel like he needs like other than again he gets to his family and stuff, but like I feel like he needs like something outside of her.
Did anyone else pick up from the last episode that he's like completely sex obsessed right now? I mean, I know they've only been married for 6 months.
He saw like the bra and it was me like see it on private.
And he was like, oh, that's naughty. And I'm like, okay, I can see that, but then like he's always making sexual references.
I think it's
Because
because he he got introduced to it and now he's like,
and I think that's part of his obsession with Olivia because
he shows him new and exciting things.
yeah.
I feel like if there would have been anyone else showing him these new things, he'd also get, excited for them.
My thing is, how long ago did this transition happen in Olivia's family? Because how does she know how to handle airports and being, does she go to photography school? Like, how does she become a photographer, it's a destination photographer, and be able to, like, people know who she is? She's, at this point, she's like 20.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
So it must have been like when she was younger, right?
So I'm just like, I want to hear that story because, well, like, they don't tell you anything.
Because if she suddenly gotten the change when she was like older, I feel like this would have been she would have been more set back, right? Like
That's why I'm like, how does she know what wines are, like what the different wines are? How does she like? I don't know. Like, there's a whole story there, like because they got married when they were both.
Do we ever see her family?
Not so far as I've seen on the show, and I'm up to the current season.
We need her side of the family of like
Yes,
the information there. I'm gonna look up
spill all the tea.
I'm gonna look up a Reddit. There has to be a Reddit for Welcome to Plathville. I'm gonna look it up now.
But I'm gonna say right here at the end of this little episode, I grew up with my grandparents who I loved and adored and would not trade for anything. But I didn't have any of my siblings around, and it was a very lonely childhood. And if I could have had that life on a farm with about all my siblings around and just
there is
not video games or anything, just being able to be kids together, I would have adored. That would be my ideal childhood.
I need AC and Wi-Fi.
I know. Well, they have electricity. They're not Amish. They had air conditioning. But yeah, I mean, but if you grew up without it, like, I think you were a much happier person before the internet. Don't you think? I think she was just happier. And I think all that stuff I think sometimes it deepened your depression. But that's his mom's opinion. But anyway, I think that's a great
opinions.
I am entitled to my opinions, and I love you all the time. Yes. All right, guys, that's it for season 1, episode 2 of Welcome to Plathville. Any ideas, comments, info, tea, please leave it for us so that we can.
Wait, hold on.
Or DM us. That'd be awesome.
I need to talk to you after this because the subreddit's like I have information now.
We may be back very soon with more info. Stay tuned, guys. Let's see, what do we say? Wear your seatbelts, spay and neuter your pets,
Use your turn signal.
use your turn signals, and please be kind.
Also, mow your lawn. It'll drive my dad crazy.
All right, bye guys.
Bye.